Hello and welcome to your IPPE-P2 Orientation for your summer rotations. There are a few things that you need to know before you go on your IPPE-P2 rotations. And today we're going to cover some of those things. The orientation to the pre-site requirements, the syllabus, the code of conduct and professionalism, and also the dress code. All your orientations and paperwork need to be completed prior to you starting your IPPE-P2s. For Mountain States Health Alliance, this includes an online orientation. The paper that is generated at the end of the online orientation needs to be signed and brought to the Office of Experiential Education for your file. The facilities for Mountain States include Franklin Woods, Indian Path, Johnson City Medical Center, Unicoi Community Hospital, and Johnston Memorial Hospital. Johnston Memorial Hospital is located in Virginia, and due to that fact, you need a Virginia intern license in order to go to this particular site. If you have been assigned to a Virginia site, you should have received an email already asking for you to apply for your Virginia intern license. If you've applied and you do not yet have your intern license, we can accept a copy of the screenshot showing that you have applied for the license and the number that Virginia will be assigning to you once your intern license actually arrives in the mail. We can take that, and then when you get your actual license in the mail, we will need to get a copy of that to put in your file. For Wellmont, they have paperwork that you need to complete, and this can be found on the eValue homepage. Those facilities include Bristol Regional Medical Center, Holston Valley, and Tacoma Regional Medical Center. For the James H. Quillen VA Medical Center, they have quite a bit of paperwork, and they also require fingerprinting. If you were assigned to the VA back in March, this paperwork should have already been started, as well as the fingerprinting, because it takes anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks for this process to be completed. So hopefully you all have already completed that, the ones that have been assigned to the VA Medical Center. There are some others that you need to be aware of. If you are assigned to a CVS, you will receive a link from CVS asking you to complete some online modules. These do need to be done prior to you starting your first day at the site. You are not to be at the site completing the modules. They won't be done before you arrive. So please take time to get those modules taken care of prior to you going, because they will not allow you to start your first day if these modules are not complete. You need to contact your preceptor at least 2 weeks in advance, no more than about 2.5 to 3 weeks in advance. Make sure you call them and then follow up with an email if necessary, especially if you were not allowed, if you could not get to them on the phone, if they weren't there, or if you had to leave a message or you just couldn't get through on the phone. Make sure you follow up with an email. And in that email and in your phone call, you'll be asking questions about your first day, specifics as to where you need to be, when you need to be there, where to park, that type of thing. The syllabus will be pushed out to you from eValue. It will go to your Gold Mail email account. That is the official email account from the university, and that is what we use in experiential education. And in the syllabus you will find all of the learning modules for that particular experience. There are 2 different syllabi that are out there. It's for the community and also for the institutional. Each of the syllabi will talk about modules. Now, there are modules that are specific to the experience that you will be on, and you will get an email notification that you have had some coursework assigned to you. In order to get to that coursework, you will go to the Learning Modules tab in your eValue, and you will complete these and then upload them back into eValue for grading. And once you complete your part of it, the preceptor will receive an email letting them know that they're there, ready for them to check. So to get to that, you sign into eValue, you go to the blue Learning Modules tab that's highlighted here, with the red arrow, and once you click on that, you will find To Be Completed. You just click on the To Be Completed portion, and that will bring up the learning modules that are assigned to you for that particular experience. Each module is worth 5 to 6 points apiece. This is a total of 30% of your grade. So if you decide not to do any of your modules at all, your grade for the course will be a 70. So it's important that you do these modules. These modules are designed to help reinforce the learning that you have already had over the past 2 years. You'll be revisiting some of the things that you visited before, such as your OTCs in the community and Joint Commission issues in the institutional. They're also designed to help stimulate conversation between you and your preceptor or any of the other people that are in your site that are helping you to learn or teaching you different things. So please use these modules. They're intended to help increase your learning and to reinforce what you already know. This particular experience is graded. The IPPE-1s was pass-fail. This IPPE-2s are actually graded. The grading scale is located in the syllabus, and as you can see here, we go from anywhere from an A to an F. Anything actually below a C, even though a D could be assigned, is considered a failing grade, and the entire experience would have to be repeated. Your conduct while you are on your sites is extremely important. I know that we talk a lot about professionalism. It really comes into play in your IPPs and your APPs or anywhere during the PEP program. Any unsatisfactory marks in the general expectations and professionalism area will result in a decrease of your total score. So if you have 1 to 2 marks of unsatisfactory professionalism, that'll drop you a whole letter grade. 3 to 4 drops you 2 whole letter grades. Now, what are professionalism marks? That's things like showing up on time, being professionally dressed, taking initiative for your own learning, that type of thing. Being professional in your speech when you're speaking to your preceptor and others at the site. The preceptor does reserve the right to immediately dismiss you from your site if there is a really egregious act that occurs. Now, I don't anticipate any of this happening this year. However, it has happened in the past, and I wanted you to be aware of it, that you could possibly be dismissed from a site if an egregious act occurred. And a dismissal from a site, it says here, may result in an automatic failure. In more times than not, it does result in an automatic failure. So you may be thinking, well, what exactly is an egregious act? I have had these occur in the past. I've had students dismissed from their IPPEs, their APPEs for that matter. So an example of egregious act. I had a student that decided to show up to his practice site late. He did not call his preceptor at all, but he did show up late. And when he did arrive, he was not professionally dressed. His lab jacket looked like it had been crumpled up, thrown on the floor, pulled out of the laundry, put back on. It was dirty, wrinkled. He shows up wearing sunglasses on his head, was not engaged with the team that he was working with, because at that particular time the preceptor had taken him out on rounds with her. Was calling the physicians by their first names instead of addressing everyone appropriately within the group. Whenever the preceptor pulled him aside later after the rounds had occurred, he became very confrontational and was difficult for her to deal with. He was, his behavior was beyond control. So he was removed from that IPPE or from his experience, and it was just not a good experience for him, for her, for the team. It was bad all the way around. So that is one extreme case of an egregious act. There have been others that have been reported. This didn't particularly happen here, but I was talking to one of my colleagues, and they had a student that would show up on site and then disappear. And then they found him hanging out in the women's bathroom all day, just sitting in one of the stalls with his feet up, so nobody would know that he was in there. And they finally found him about halfway through his experience. So that's another example of an egregious act. So you have to kind of really get out there, but sometimes it does happen. So just make sure that you're aware of what you're doing. These are like job interviews. Some of you may actually get a job offer following one of these things. Or you may find that you really like the site that you're at and you want to go back in your 4th year. So you don't want to be banned from going back to the site, and that has actually happened in the past as well, where I've gotten the call from a preceptor that said, do not send the student back to us as a fourth-year student. We do not want them back. So just so you're aware, I don't anticipate any problems this year, but I did feel like you needed the disclosure of this particular point. While you're at your experience sites, make sure that you're dressed professionally. This is what we call pep dress. For the gentlemen, it's ties. Make sure you have on closed-toed shoes. You're never quite sure what could get spilled on your feet, so you want to make sure you have the closed-toed shoes, and that's for everyone. Please not too much skin. Also, watch your cologne and your makeup. So just be aware of what you look like when you leave. Please make sure you wear socks. This is especially true for our gentlemen that are out on IPPEs and APPEs. We need to make sure that we have on socks that cover the ankles. Gentlemen, please just make sure that you have your ankles covered. I've had reports of issues in the past. Patients would rather just not see your ankles for whatever reason. Also, make sure that your lab jacket, make sure it's clean and neat. If you happen to spill something on your lab jacket and you're there at your site, or you're going to your site and you've spilled something on it, let your preceptor know what has happened. Clean your jacket as best you can, and then the next day that you arrive on site, please have that jacket washed and cleaned and ready to go. And always make sure that you wear your Gatton College of Pharmacy name badge. Some of our sites will also assign you another name badge. That's fine. Just wear both of them. Main thing with these experiences, go out there, learn as much as you can, practice the skills that you've gotten over the past couple of years with us, sharpen that knowledge, learn as much as you possibly can, and let some of the skills that you've learned here really shine through with your preceptors. And the main thing is enjoy your experience, and I will see you at the end of the summer. Thank you.